So that brings us to the Deliver tab. So on the Deliver tab, we can export our videos. As you can see here, you can export with default settings for YouTube or Vimeo. If you want to upload directly to those services, you can log into your accounts by going up to DaVinci Resolve Preferences and then choosing Internet Accounts. But aside from that, you can either use these defaults over here, or you can create your own custom settings. So if you want to create custom settings for your project, then you can click on these drop downs and find the settings you like. If you're curious about what I like to use, it's usually either MP4 video files or QuickTime. QuickTime is the .mov format with H.264 video codec for the compression. The resolution and the frame rate is going to depend on whatever you were editing your timeline in and what you want the final output resolution to be. So this is 180p right here, which is really common. 720p, which is 1280 by 720, is also really common. You may want to leave the quality automatically restricted to 10,000 kbs per second, or you can just have it set to automatic if you prefer, which will let DaVinci Resolve figure out what bitrate you want to use for your project. So you can give it a file name up here at the top. So I can call this Learn DaVinci Resolve 16. There's also some lesser used settings over in audio and file that you can play around with. Probably more relevant to most people is, do you want to render the entire timeline out to a file, or do you want to output only part of the timeline? So if you want to render part of the timeline, you can navigate with the cursor, hit I in order to set your starting point, and go over to the ending of your video, or wherever you want it to be, wherever you want the export to end at, and hit O. So in this case, if we render the in-out range, it would only be from here to here. Otherwise, we can change render to entire timeline, which will automatically select everything in our timeline, which is usually what you want. So I can hit add to render queue. If you are going to have multiple timelines in your project, you can do multiple render jobs all at once if you want to save some time and just let your computer render for a while when you're done with one or multiple projects. So I'll go ahead and hit that now, and this will export to the publish location on your computer. By the way, you can change that over here where it says location. So I'm exporting to D drive videos publish. You can browse your location on your computer, and that should be pretty easy to get a custom publish setting. So once your video is done, you can go ahead, find it, open it up, upload it to YouTube, whatever you want to do with it. But that's the general gist of how you edit a video inside of DaVinci Resolve 16. So this was obviously a really condensed video, primarily targeted at beginners, but I hope that if this is your first time taking a look at DaVinci Resolve 16 or future versions, that this has helped you to get a better understanding of the workflow in the application and what you can do with it. I've been Chris, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in my future video content.